Everything seems to be working. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Face Card Making Space. Unpaid interns in the corner.
Hello.
Let's hope. I didn't even inform him of this. The software went down this morning. So, yeah, the live streaming software.
Oh.
There was some major technical difficulties, and I didn't do it. Had nothing to do with me, but I got the notification that they got everything fixed. Between that and my own personal issues with tech, we'll just see. We're just gonna wing it. I am. Yeah, the gremlins chewed the cord somewhere. Who knows? But let's all just hope, cross our fingers, cross our toes, that my cameras can stay on and work. Last week I was rushing. I had people kind of commenting that I was, because this camera froze, and then I was like stressed out the entire time because I was like, I need to get this done as fast as possible because everything's gonna explode. I don't know. Everything's great. So anyway, hello everybody. Right now we're live. It is unscripted, unfiltered, pure chaos. I'm tired. Life is just...
The end of summer is the end of summer.
Oh yeah, it is crazy times. It's so fun. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And yes, Gremlins running amok. That is Gremlins and Poltergeists. I got a Poltergeist that lives in the filing cabinet behind me that likes to just pop open that thing, you know, whenever it's mad. And yeah, I'm sure there's Gremlins crawling all around. Anyway.
We haven't caught any of the traps.
I did. It popped up though in my brain is just in when the stupid on Facebook, because you're not on there very often, but like, well, the ads, but like Amazon stuff, you know, and I'm always scrolling through. I always find little nuggets, but the one I was scrolling through this morning, is it EMF? Is that what it's called? Detector for ghosts, and I was like, why? I should order one, you know, and we can start ghost hunting here in the garage, because I'm sure we would find some. Anyway, I just kind of had a chuckle about it, and now I'm thinking, I was like, I was probably meant to be. It's probably telling me, like, Amy, you need this, and I would just, like...
We're going to have to call Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, man, I would do it if I could get Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd here.
I know, right?
They'd probably have fun with me. We would make cards, and they would say inappropriate things.
Bill Murray would 100% sit down and make a card. 100%.
I don't know. I've heard Bill Murray's a little bit like...
Sometimes he can be, but if you catch him in a good mood...
if I could... My dream team, Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart, Tim Holtz. If I could get all of us at a round table. Heck, if I could get them at a round table, I'll sit in the corner. I'd be fine. Just give me some snacks, and I would just sit back and watch the magic. It'd be wonderful. But yeah, I would love to make cards with them. That'd be fun. Yeah. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the chaos. That's what it is. It is chaotic. I do have a card planned. My brain is just... It's going to take me a minute to catch up. My brain is mush, as usual. So, loads of fun. Your tech is listening to you. Oh yeah, it does, 100%. Like, eventually I will join the Tinfoil Hat Society. There was something else I was going to bring up about me wearing a tinfoil hat, but I can't remember what it was now. But with the whole, like, your devices listening into you, they 100% do.
Remember the dog food part.
Remember dog food, but like, you and I have had we have very bizarre conversations. It's a good thing people can't hear us and whatever. But there have been times you and I've had some very, very out there conversations.
Sure.
And then the next day, the ads I get served, it's just proof, you know, but whatever. Anyway, thought of you when I saw the Concord 9th release with those mushrooms. I know, they're really cute. They're really cute, and I'm just... Man, I need a bigger budget. I need a bigger boat. Still haven't found, you know, the proper sugar daddy that'll just send me large amounts of money for nothing in return other than gratitude. So yeah, hellos to everybody. And yes, tech people don't equip their homes with all the smart stuff they know better. 100%. That is one of the when we like got this house, it was like as little crazy tech You know, you want stuff to be as analog as possible because textile, it just all of it does is break. And I was thinking about that the other day too. Every single major appliance in our house.
It's not a smart appliance.
Well, but it's smart enough in the sense. They're not like super fancy. Like we don't have like, no, none of it's connected to the internet, but like the appliances are, every single one of them though is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is wonderful. So, but yeah, none of our stuff is like smart appliances or anything like that. We've got a little bit of fancy tech, but that's for the internets, you know, but other than that, yeah, smart appliances and having everything connected to the internet. Not a fan. Not because of like stuff listening in, but because it just breaks. Stuff can get hacked. And anyone who works in tech is like, nope, don't do it. Anyway. Yeah. So. And yeah, some of the weather, crazy, crazy hot. Thankfully here, it has cooled off quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Everything is bonkers, but we're gonna make, my youngest son is a software developer and he absolutely hates tech. I think most people who work in it just...
We envision the simple life during retirement.
Yep.
Woodworking and gardening.
And in a way, I work in tech in my own way. And I've talked about this. Like, I make cards. And a lot of people ask me that too. It's like, I would love to just make cards for a living. And I was like, oh, for what I do, like this being my whole career, the actual making is like this much of it. The rest is tech. I got cameras and lights and microphones and cords and internet and websites and editing and software and 5 million subscriptions to 5 million different websites to like optimize it. You know, I am fighting with tech every day in my own way. And that's why one of the reasons why my hair is turning white. It's all good. It's all good.
Me too.
Like, yeah. I love it when it works. You know, or when I get it to work. So when I do it, I'm just like, yes, I'm a genius. And then the rest of the time, I'm just like, I hate it. I hate it. I want just, yeah. The concept of a simple life without technology is appealing, but at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do what I do and connect with you guys. So the trade-off is okay. Just some days when everything is on fire and I'm just like not happy. Oh, that was the one thing I did forget to add to the list. So while I'm chatting, I'm going to grab this and quickly add another link that I forgot to add to my supply list. And then we'll be fine. Not like it really matters, but gotta, do the things because I'm nothing if not OCD about having all of my supplies. Okay, I added it. It won't be underneath, but whatever. It's not a big deal. It was just an ink pad. So no biggie there. I remembered to turn all my sounds off. Okay, we're good. Which I need to start remembering to add those disclaimers at the beginning of my lives. I add them to all my other videos. This is just proper following the rules, as well as in my world, just common courtesy to explain. My links are affiliate links. All that means is that if you click on one of my links, I have links to all the supplies I use below the live, as well as all my edited videos, etc. And then during lives, Unpaid Intern is adding them to like the chat and stuff. But my links are affiliate links, so that just means that if you click on a link, end up placing an order, and it doesn't matter what you order at all. You could click on the link for this, and then you order whatever you want. It legit doesn't matter. I get a little kickback from that order. And you do not have to click specific links. You know, if you want to order white cardstock and this die set and this thing, you do not need to click on those specific links. As long as my link brought you there, or any maker that you want to support that has affiliate links, that's generally how it works. And it doesn't cost you anything. The brand or the store that is providing the affiliate service, that comes out of their pocket. And it's what helps pay the bills and all the things. So, I hope that makes sense. Hello to everybody. Let's start making something. And then my brain will hopefully start catching up. I need to... Oh, I know what I forgot to do. If I do that... Because I had to remove it last time. That's why I forgot to put me back. I'm just going to float here for a second while I... There we go. Okay. Hopefully it stays. We'll just see. We'll just see. Because, yeah, last live, the face camera died in the software. But we're gonna do some things. That's okay. I have stuff prepared. So, yeah. Embossing folder. Tumbling Flowers. This is from Simon's newest release. This was from the Cheering You On, Cheering for You, whatever it was called, the July one. So I pulled that out because I hadn't used it yet, and it's pretty. It does have a little and I lost it. There it is. A little coordinating wafer die, which I'm going to use. I already did some die cutting. But first we need to emboss with it. So I need things. I need a little bit of water. I need my trusty flour sackcloth. Okay. And yes, besides the affiliate links, biggest thing that helps a ton, and I've talked about this as well, is just, yeah, thumbs upping and commenting, whether you're interacting with a live or just on regular videos. Giving a thumbs up, leaving comments, it helps a ton. It does. It tells the robot overlords. I think that's what I was thinking of, about, like, eventually you guys are just going to see wearing a tinfoil hat, because when my entire job is run by freaking AI and algorithms and just robots, some days I feel like I'm losing my mind, and a lot of it is that. So don't be surprised if in the next live I'm wearing a tinfoil hat and, you know, I got a Faraday cage set up.
Faraday cage set up, this would be a very...
We wouldn't be streaming. I know. I was like, how can I set up a Faraday cage but still stream out? Because that defeats the purpose. I get it. Anyway, I'm also going to keep eating my apple. Apologies, but otherwise it's going to be brown. Actually, no. Can you?
I can throw some lemon juice on it.
Yeah, I'll have them afterwards because I don't want to be like crunching in people's ears. I don't do that kind of content. You guys don't. I hate the sound of other people eating. Do not know how people can watch that kind of content, and I will not subject you guys to that horrificness, because it is. It's awful. Awful. Gross. Anyway. Okay. We is gonna emboss. Okay. I appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up button. It does. It helps. Okay. So, Neenah, just Desert Storm, cardstock, my go-to. And I think I'm gonna plan on keeping this like full card size. So when I'm gonna use it in an embossing folder, I generally cut the panel larger than A2. So right now this is more like rough 4.5 by like 5 3/4. It doesn't need to be exact, because if you keep it exactly A2, so 4 1/4 by 5.5, and then you run it through an embossing folder, depending on the embossing folder, but this applies to most of them, you know, it's pressing the cardstock, you know, up and down, etc. And the cardstock will shrink in that sense because it's being pressed in. So if you took like an A2 size, embossed it, and then you wanted it to still cover, you'll notice there'll still be a little margin. So I generally will go larger. Hopefully that makes sense. And then a little bit of water to soften the paper fibers. And then you should have peanut butter and chocolate for dipping. Oh, caramel on apple slices is very good, but I do that like once in a literal blue moon, because if I started doing that every day, good lord, all my teeth would rot out. So yeah, just a little bit of water. Doesn't need much. It softens the paper fibers. See, especially when you're using like 3D folders, because this one isn't too bad, but like some of them, you know, especially like the Tim Holtz ones, and there's a few of the Sign ones that are very intricate. And if you find that your paper is cracking or even splitting with a really heavy, intricate folder, mist it with water. And then you should be good. So, got in there. And then we're gonna run it through. And I use my EMPRESS machine. And I've shown this in other videos. For the EMPRESS machine, at least for me, all I need with a Simon brand, because again, all the brands are different, they're all different thicknesses, etc. But for the Simon ones and the EMPRESS machine, cutting plate and embossing folder. That's all you need. And it works like magic. I never feel you rush. I was definitely rushing a bit last week, but again, it was more just I was stressing myself out. I'm going to emboss it a second time. This still turned out really pretty, but I'm just going to do it again, because why not? Make sure, though, that it's actually where it needs to be first. It just kind of fits. Fits right in there. There we go. And I'm just going to run it through a second time. Because again. There we go. Okay. There we go. Did it make a difference? It made a little bit of a difference. So that's what we've got for now. Isn't that pretty? Like all the levels. Love it. Love it. Love it. So we're actually not going to do anything with this. I just wanted this as the background. But the little coordinating wafer die. I die cut these little pieces from just scraps of distressed watercolor paper. And this fits, and it's on their website too. It'll have like a little red outline where, you know, it's supposed to go. And yeah, it goes right here. It just fits right in there like that. So I'm going to tape it because I don't feel confident right now about just running it through as is. So I'm going to add just a smidge of tape to hold it in place. Just like that. And I didn't bother misting this with water because it's so small that I just don't think it's necessary. And then when I run it through, that'll give it all of its pretty detail. Okay. There we go. So, get out of there. Now, there. Isn't that pretty? So we'll do that a couple more times because I was thinking of like tucking in, like normally like you could use it as a highlight in a sense, but it's just cute on its own. So I did that one, and then I'm going to do it a couple more times. And I fit it into this is what I call the front of the embossing folder. The raised, you know, area is here, and then the front is the indented, and it's easier to fit this into the indent. I just gotta, it's this piece. So it just fits in like a puzzle piece. Just like so. And then I can use my tape just so that it doesn't move. There we go. There we go. He's in his little spot, and then I can emboss him again. There we go. And then we'll run that through. And yeah, I've talked about this before. I would eventually like to set up a die cam, but like I technically have the equipment for it. I'm just considering it is so infrequent that I can get both cameras to work simultaneously for a live. I don't want to add a third. It's a lot of processing power. Wow. Anyway, okay. Get that going one more time. Make sure I got him. There we go. Lined up. And then so with the coordinating dies with embossing folders, is that the process? Die cut the pieces, then run them through the folder? Technically, I've done it both ways. Like when they first, specifically Simon, because I think other brands maybe have had them as well. But when Simon first started releasing them, a lot of times I would emboss first. It was an extra step, which I'm sure some people thought was ridiculous. But I would like emboss. With one like this, I wouldn't do the whole thing. I would emboss, you know, a scrap. And then I would stick the die cut over it. Is it this one? Something like, yeah. I would like stick the die cut on it, and then I would die cut it, and then I would emboss it another time. Because if you emboss first, then die cut, the pressure will almost like flatten out most of the details. So you have to run it through the embossing folder anyway. So to save yourself that step, it's like just die cut, then run it through. And then, yeah, I've got these little little flowers and leaves with all the detail, just like so. So we're going to do some really simple watercolor, which I know watercolor, just saying the word watercolor scares people. I get it, but it is simple. So hopefully there we go. There we go. So you guys can see what I'm doing. So we got our little flowers. And then for the watercoloring, I gotta move some things out of the way here. Don't need that anymore. And then I need a little bit of water. And I would have helped if I had grabbed a watercolor brush. And I'm gonna use, I'm like so zoomed in. This is the Altenew. I guess showing the cover isn't really gonna help, but it's the Altenew. I've used this many times over the years. Watercolor palette. So pulled that out. Any palette can work. There's a million options out there for watercolor, you know. This is a decent one. And yeah, I don't like telling people what to purchase. I've had some questions about that, like what specific palette do you recommend? And I'm like, one, I'm the worst person to ask that because I have like, I don't know, at least 20 watercolor palettes. I like to try different things. And it's all personal preference. But we're going to do very simple watercolor. Like, super simple. So, see if I can put this here. So you guys can, maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Just a smidge. There we go. So, for the flower centers, how do I want to do this? We'll start with the flower centers. So I'll use a little bit of yellow. Just mix it up there. Maybe add this lighter yellow too while I'm at it. Why not? Just like that. There we go. And then you just paint it on. Nothing crazy. And then we do the same thing with this one. And then one last time. So there was that. Very simple. And then I'm going to skip over to the greenery because I want to let this dry before I add anything else, because otherwise, because this is still wet, if I was to add anything to these petals, this would immediately start bleeding into whatever color, which depending on what you're going for might look really cool. And I forgot, I'm also using this. I pulled out the Arching Leaf Border die set. I'm not using the big die. This is, where is it? It's around here somewhere. Meh. Yeah. It's big. This is like A2 size. But there's this die that's just leaves. A couple of leaf clusters. And I thought that might be cute. So I'm going to do it. We'll see if I end up adding it. But I die cut it also from distressed watercolor paper. And yeah. So I'll add green to these as well. So for that, we'll use the darker green and probably this lighter green that I love, which I've already got like a bunch of it from whenever the last time I used this palette. So I'll just add water to whatever I've got going on here. And then maybe put some water onto these. Ooh, maybe some of this darker green too. Why not? Why not? So we'll add some more of this brighter green. And re-wet up that. And then we'll add darker green. Drop in a bit of water to reactivate this, just like so. So then we've got some greens going on. And then I'll add even this like much darker green, which on my camera probably looks like almost black, but it's just a really dark like pine green. It's pretty. So I'll throw a bit of that in there too. Because why not? Okay. So we got our greens. Let's see if I can, there we go. And then all we're going to do is paint. So I'll get my leaves wet. My brush isn't fully clean. Doesn't matter. Start with the lightest. Just kind of scribble some of that on there. And then go in with that darker green and drop that in. And because everything's wet, it's like starting to run, which is totally fine because it's green on green. And then if I take the darkest green and drop that in right at the base of the leaves, it also runs a little bit. And that's it. It's simple. So we'll just keep repeating the process. Oh, would help if I followed the process. So just wet brush, getting it wet with water, the areas that I want to paint, so just the leaves. And then I pick up the lighter green, paint that on there. And the color will run wherever there is moisture. So it's not gonna run onto the petals because I didn't add water to those. And then when I add the medium green, it immediately starts to run. You know, and that's the nice thing about using things like embossing folders or die cuts that have detail, and you'll see it on these too. That's why I like doing stuff like this, is because that detail is debossed into the cardstock. The color settles into those deboss areas and it just makes it look cool. So 1, 2, now we'll do this guy. There we go. So wet him with water. And then we paint with the lightest green. Just like that. And then you go in with the medium and just kind of tap it in. Let it do its thing. And then we take a bit of the darkest green right at the base. And that was the leaves. So I'm going to do the same thing. These ended up staying, like they didn't pop out of the die cut, which just makes life easier because I can just leave them in here and slap the color on. And it'll hold everything in place. I think I'll just paint the whole thing, like all the pieces, because I was only going to use like these like larger sprigs, but even these little leaves might work too. I could tuck them in. We'll see. We'll see. So I'll just add water to everything. Ooh. Some of these are going to pop out, but whatever. Just give them a little bit of water. There we go. And then go right in with that lighter green. You don't need to be particular with it. You just slap the color on. It's one of the reasons I love watercoloring on die cuts, watercoloring on embossing folders, that sort of thing. I just feel like there's less pressure in a sense, because I'm not worried about like stamped images or staying inside the lines or anything like that. It's like there are no lines. There are no rules. There is no spoon. Took me a minute to remember that quote. It is a great movie. I love The Matrix. We still haven't watched the new one.
Oh.
We'll get to it eventually. It's on the never-ending list of movies to watch. So then we slap in the medium green. And again, I am being very messy with this, and I am okay with this. It's fun. And then you drop in the dark green, and same thing. Because these were die cut, the color starts to sink in to all the piercing detail, which just gives it more definition, more texture, a more unique look. And yes, you can always like watercolor, ink blend, ink smush, whatever, a background, and then die cut it. That's fine. There's no wrong way to do it. I like die cutting and doing all the stuff first and then adding color, but like I said, there's no rules. You can do whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you comfortable. Just play with it. It's just paper. So that hot mess is just gonna sit and dry. I gotta wipe up all of that. Where? Oh, I lost it. Okay. So then, I love that our community is worldwide. It makes me feel less cut off and insular, and that is why I don't set up a Faraday cage and live off the grid. That's literally exactly why. So yeah, it is true. It's one of the nice perks about card making specifically, but really there's tons of great communities online. Card making really is, in my opinion, one of the better ones. One of the best ones. Because sometimes being online sucks. And some people are complete and total donkeys. But it's very few and far between in card making, in my opinion. Okay. So, my flower centers are almost or pretty much dry. The leaves are a bit wet. Yeah, when you can see, there you go, the shine, they're still wet. So I am going to speed this up using my heat tool, but I'm going to plug in my heat tool with the other plug-in so it hopefully doesn't affect my cameras, because, you know, tech. Wonderful. We love it. There we go. Okay. So if I dry it, that way I don't have to worry about the color like running into the leaves. Yeah, still a little bit wet. Okay, that one's dry. That one's dry. Ooh, get over here. This one is not dry because it's still got, it's hard to show. There we go. See, it's got that shine on it, so it's still wet. Yeah, it doesn't take much. And then while I'm at it, might as well dry these ones because I did add a fair bit of water. So might as well dry this to save myself the aggravation. I lost one. Get back there. There you go. He's good now. Stick that over there. Okay. And then, can you link to the watercolor paper I used? And then, I'm gonna do purples for, we're gonna turn this around. Some purples and maybe a little bit of blue. Why not? Yeah, let's do a little bit of blue. So add that, the distress watercolor paper, because that's what I used. Put some over here. Those are really light blue. Just add a bit of that. And then I want to use a bit of purple. So stick that over here. We won't need much because these flowers are small. And I'll probably add a bit of pink to this too to get it more to the color that I want. because why not? Because, yeah, plan on stamping one of the sentiments on the inside with this color. So, yeah. If I just mix and muck a little bit. Add a little bit of blue to this. Oh, pretty close. Not bad. Okay. So, got a little bit of purple. Probably gonna add a bit more. Add a bit more pink. Now that I know my formula, add a bit more blue. Add a bit more pink. There we go. So got that. And then a smidge of this blue. Because I think that'll look pretty too. So really, really pale blue. A little bit of that blue. That's like an Uncharted Mariner kind of blue. And then add a bit more of that really pale. There we go. Okay, I got the colors I want to use. So now let's paint our little flowers. So I'll start with the lightest. A smidge more water. And I'm just going to do all the petals at once. If you really want to, you can do like one at a time or do like alternating ones so that none of them run into each other. But I generally don't have the patience for that kind of thing. You do get better results. I just am impatient. So I started with the lightest blue. And then I'll drop in the darker blue right towards the base. And then it naturally starts to run, which is exactly what I want. And then I take the purple and drop that in on the tips. And right now it looks like an absolute god-awful mess. That's okay. We'll just go like that. I also have a cloth off to the side that I use to wipe my brush on to soak up excess water, etc. So it just gives it that little, there we go. Happy Stamps Craft, totally fine. We
sent them to
yeah,
all over
I've sent cards all over the world. Doesn't matter where you live, don't care. Like, yeah, we've had winners in the UK and Australia and yeah. So I don't think I have any rules, or at least I never planned on. I haven't read that form in forever, but I think it's fine. The only thing I want people to add is. No, I was just reading the form because I was like, did I miss something? She said she didn't read the top part, and I'm not sure what. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you live. Yeah, I send the cards international. It's fine. For cards, it's not a big deal. Like, it's when it's like giveaways of like packages, that sort of thing. That's why a lot of us makers, if we're doing those sorts of giveaways where it's like it's a parcel, a lot of times it has to be, US only, etc. Because that's where shipping can get absolutely astronomical. Like, gross. So, but for cards, I keep those ones open to everybody because I can pay it's like almost $4 Canadian or whatever it is to mail a card internationally, and that's okay. Yep. So yeah. So got it wet, and then I went in. So slightly different this time. This time I got it wet first. Then I went in with this really, really pale blue. And just added that. And then I wipe off the brush, pick up this darker blue, and you're just kind of tapping it. Like when I say dropping in, that's what I mean. It's like you pick up the color and then you just tap, 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 tap. And it immediately starts to run because there is moisture there. Just like that. And then I take the purple. And this time I'm going to try a little lighter hand than with the first one. And this is where people can follow my advice that I never follow myself. A lot of times, especially with watercoloring, it helps to have a tester piece first, you know, to get a feel for it, to see where things are going, to see where the colors decide to fall, etc. And then once you've got it kind of figured out, then you go from there. Do I do that? No. Am I going to use this one? Yeah. But it does help. Because especially with watercolor, depending on the type of paper you're using, the watercolors, the amount of water, like so many factors can affect how it's going to turn out. And even if you've been doing it for a really long time, it's like, oh, if you haven't used this watercolor palette before or in a long time, or this watercolor paper, etc., it can always be just slightly different. So it does help to do like to have a little tester first, but I just don't, and I just figured out as I go. Like everything, do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, start figuring it out. You start getting more comfortable with it. And as intimidating as watercoloring is for a lot of people, and I do get it, you just gotta start. You just gotta sit down and do it and play with it. You start figuring out as you go. And it's not as intimidating as you think. It just takes practice. I know when I first started, I would look at people's videos and I was like, how'd you do that? How'd you know where to put the color? How did you make it do that? How did you make it go here? Like, how? You know? And then I started doing it, and you start figuring it out. It takes legit hands-on practice. Okay. So, the cotton paper for the Better Press, dang, it can soak up some water. Oh yeah, the Better Press watercolor, ooh, I don't want that yet. The Better Press paper is pure cotton, and it will. High quality watercolor papers, the ones that aren't actually paper, they're cotton. Totally different experience. I love them. I hoard them. And then every time I pull them out, though, and I'm reminded, you get a major difference. If you're going to invest in for actual water, for things like this, I have no problem using like the distress watercolor paper. It works fine, and I like it because it's a little bit thinner, so it embosses easier. I don't really like using the heavyweight cotton watercolor papers in my embossing folders. It can still work, but it gets a little iffy. And I find sometimes it can get really hard to get the proper like detail and stuff. But for things like stamped images and like actual watercoloring, yeah, if you're going to invest in anything, I do recommend the good watercolor paper. But there ain't nothing wrong with the cheaper stuff when you're playing. Just don't set your expectations to, Van Gogh type levels. But if you find you're using the cheaper watercolor paper and you've been experimenting for a while and you're not as happy with your results, it wouldn't hurt to get a pack of the good stuff and experiment with that. Because the good stuff, it's amazing how big the difference it makes. So now we're going to drop in the purple, just like we've been doing. I'm glad you like it, Kelly. So yeah, we're gonna keep checking to make sure the camera's still on, everything's still working. So yeah, drop in a bit of the purple, just like so. And a little bit more, and then I wipe off my brush, and then I just kind of scribble it along the edges of the purple to soften it a bit and to drag it down. going crazy, you know? There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the purple to the very edges, just to darken them up a bit. Boop. Yeah, there's our little flowers. And I can go back if you want. You can go back a bit. Add a little bit more. Add a little bit more of the blue. Add a smidge more of the darker blue. Just like that. And we did it. Yeah. Super awesome. Okay. Basic watercoloring. Anybody can do it. Just takes practice. I'm gonna move these guys too, so I can clean up the little bit I got on my work surface. Where's the water? There we go. There. There we go. Okay. What am I doing next? I don't know. I just live here. Literally, I was like, what am I doing? How make card precious? Oh, God. I need like a 6-month vacation. Okay. So we got our little flowers. We are gonna add splatter to this background. Yes. That is what we're gonna do. Let me zoom back up so you guys aren't like right in there. There we go. Okay, so that's our little flowers. We got our little die cut leaves. Just cute. Super cute. And then this guy that I embossed, I'm going to trim him down to A2 size now. So I've got that little bit of leeway. And I don't know if you guys can like tell, kind of, what I was talking about with how when you emboss it shrinks, but like right here, it's not a straight line anymore. It was when I embossed it. But this right here, it's no longer a straight line because all that detail, you know, got pressed into the cardstock. So it's like, so yeah, that's what I was talking about. So I want to get this to 4 1/4, like A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So now that I've got a straight edge, I'm going to follow it. Just get it right up. There we go. So then 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now the edges are straight. Or straight enough, because again, perfection is overrated as always. So we got our little background, and it needs splatter, of course. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to stick that, and in fact, I'm going to add a little bit to these guys too, because why not? Go big or go home, man. So we'll put them in there. We'll put my little leaves in here. Like that. And I'm just thinking. Nope. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Okay. Spellbinders. Splatter white. Opaque watercolor. Showed that. I think I used that in the last live too. And however many other videos. I am legit liking this stuff. It's just a little baby jar. But you do not need much. At all. Mine is already getting a little tiny bit discolored. It's not like pure white, and that's because my brush is not perfectly clean. And I don't really care. Because you just need like legit not much of this. I've just been mostly scraping it off the little seal. Yeah, that's probably enough. So we got that. And then we'll add a little bit of water. Same thing, you don't need much to thin it out, like so. And we'll add some splatter. We'll add some to the little die cuts just to give it a bit of texture, like so. You can really just try and scrape up every little bit of it. Heck, you can even go like that. Use up every little speck. Yes. Okay. Yep. Splatter with all the capital L's. So my brain might be mush, but I will forever be petty. Anyway. Okay. Wipe off my little palette. Yeah, this is what I call subtle. Subtle splatter, subtle background. Because I want the focus to be the sentiment and my little die cuts. There we go. Gonna get them out of here. There you go. We're good. We're good. Okay. So I have that. And then the sentiments I'm going to use again, because I warned you guys I'd be using this like over and over again. The CZ Design U stamp set and wafer die. And I think these are currently on pre-order because they've sold out more than once. But yeah, they're available. It'll say with the listing like when they're expected to be back in stock. So with anything, with Simon specifically, Simon says stamps specifically, if an item says pre-order and it says it right on the link listing, there'll be info saying when it's back in stock. And then if a person orders anything that's on pre-order, your order doesn't ship until the item is back in stock. Just so that everyone understands how that works. So I took the wafer die and then I die cut it. Heavyweight white cardstock. The outline I die cut from VELLUM, and then the top layer I die cut from gold glitter. Because is that not just perfection? Just sit here and play with that for a while. So I need to move this watercolor palette out of the way before I like put my elbow in it. Let that dry. Let that dry. Okay, this is better. I need space. I need space. Put that away. And then my glue. Okay. We're good. We're good. Everything's good. Everything's great. Right? Right. As is tradition, we stack the layers together to build dimension. Because those are the rules. There we go. A little behind. You say it costs $4 US. No, it costs $4 Canadian. It's not. It's like not quite. It's like it depends on the thickness and the weight. It's anywhere from like almost $3 Canadian up to like $4 or something like that. To mail a card internationally. And yes, Canadians pay significantly more. It costs almost $1 to mail domestically. And then don't even get me started on how much it costs to mail parcels. Because it's a lot. So, yeah. But that is in Canadian dollars, which is a chunk less than US dollars. But we are a big country land-wise with much less peoples, hence things costing more because it's got a lot further to travel to get anywhere. That's also why flights in Canada and from Canada are stupid expensive. Wow. There we go. It's just pretty. We'll just like zone out Magpie over the gold glittery fabulousness. Love it. Love it. And then we're going to stick that to the vellum outline. I got everything lined up. And then we'll adhere it to its little outline. Just like so. So we got our sentiment. Just like that. Just like that. So pretty. And I'm going to stick a magnet on it just to really press that down. Bonk. Baker's, that's what I forgot. Baker's twine. Good job, Amy. Did I want purple? Yeah, of course I wanted purple. I can add that to the list. I'm doing it. I'm ahead of you. I know what I'm doing. Again, as I like OCD over the details. That. And the reverse tweezers for the win. My camera's still working. Looks like it. Good. Wonderful. Great. Fabulous.
I can see you still moving. So.
Yeah, but you're behind where you're seeing.
Yeah, only about 10 seconds.
Is it? Last time it was like a really big delay.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if that... Oh, whatever. Don't even start with stupidity of tech. Anyway. Okay. Cost me $12.68 to mail a small yellow bubble envelope down to California. They termed it as a package instead of an envelope. Yes. Yes. Thickness. They're to be still there's a very thin amount, and it's kind of the same between Canada and the US for envelopes, and then there's another slot they use for like thicker envelopes, and it's quite small. And if it can't fit through that slot, it immediately gets termed as a parcel, and then the price just skyrockets. Love it. Love it. Always. Anyway. Yeah. I have to jump through all the hoops because I mail a lot of cards. So I have my own little tracker and then things to check the weights and the thicknesses and blah, 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 blah. Anywho. Okay. There we go. And what was I doing? Oh, we need to add another sentiment. You guys, I'm just like distracting myself. You can already tell which ones I've used like multiple times because they're getting stained. There we go. So, just mailing a plain old envelope within the US now 73 cents. But I really like mailing cards. Yeah, like that's just it for me. Like I get it. It can add up. You know, when you're mailing cards, like especially if you're mailing a lot of them. But for me, and I mail a lot. Like my last batch that I mailed out to a lot of my Patreon supporters, I didn't even add up how much post. It was a lot. But there's something about, that's why we do what we do. You know, and you're getting the mail and you're pulling out flyers and garbage and everything, bills, all the bills. And then there's a card and it's like, oh, I love it. It always makes my day. So, which also, yeah, I am way behind. I do need to do like a Happy Mail haul. I'll do a live. I'm not sure. I don't know when, but I have like a nice little stack of, I'm sure, just amazing cards that people have sent to me. I haven't forgotten. I will get to it. Maybe I make no promises because I have like multiple deadlines this week, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it because I like showing the cards you guys make. It's fun. Okay. I want to put, I think this time I'll put, oh, how about sending a hug? I haven't used that sentiment yet, so I'll use that one. So we'll use that little sentiment. And then, oh, and then I also, a hug to you. I'll use this one again because I love that one too. The You Are Amazing. Because I'm going to heat emboss these. That's, again, method to the madness. So, I need a scrap of cardstock. This will work for my purposes. I need a scrap of cardstock. I need the other heat tool, which means I need a bigger boat. I need a really, really rich, generous sugar daddy with pure intentions that just wants to bless my life with money. And I need more outlets. I don't think that's too much to ask, you know?
Did everything survive when you plugged it in?
Well, because I plugged in over there. I'm scared to plug it into the one I have here because sometimes that makes the camera go weird. All I want for Christmas is a sugar daddy. Anyway. And yeah, 6-month vacation. That would be great. Thanks. Cardstock. Dupe. My little sentiments. Just space them out. Just like so. We'll die cut these once I get them. Like that. Like that. Like that. Then we need to use our anti-static powder tool. Thank you, Shauna. Yeah, because I had posted a picture. I was like, how did you know about the colored envelopes? Because I posted a picture of it, you know, on my Facebook page. Duh. Yeah. I don't decorate the envelopes very often. It just, again, it depends on, it would help, you know, help if you, there we go. Get the anti-static powder tool on there. Yeah, I don't decorate the envelopes very often because I just, a lot of times don't have time, but I use pretty colors to match, like, whatever the card is, and that's as far as I usually go. That's my bandwidth. Okay. So we got anti-static powder on there. We're going to stamp our sentiments with clear embossing ink, which is literally going to look like nothing for everyone and even looks like nothing to me. Because, you know, clear on white. But I just tilt it in the light. Okay. To make sure everything's stamped. Light pressure. You don't need to do CPR because you'll smush the stamp and then you lose all the detail. And then gold embossing powder. Because that'll look pretty. Take that out of there. Stick those on there so I don't lose them. No, get on your packaging so I don't lose them. I'll be using this again, but I'll put it back for now anyway. Okay. Then we'll add some embossing powder. Just like so. Tap off the excess. Make sure it's all, yeah. Make sure it's all there. You and me both, Anne-Marie. Just sugar daddies for everyone. Making sure everything is melted. There we go. There we go. Move that over there. And then I have troubles with decorated envelopes. I make them to match my cards, but the post office doesn't like them. They say that the sorting machine will ruin them and get damaged. Yeah, it depends too where you're located. Because yeah, some countries are ridiculous. I know a lot, like and I have received some amazing like decorated envelopes with wax seals, you know, sealing the back, those sorts of things, and they've arrived, you know, no problem. Yeah. I think it really depends on so many things, and even in like places where, like in the US, etc., where people don't technically have issues, it can also depend on like the post office and the person's mood that's working that day, because that happens too. What am I doing? Die cutting. That's what I'm doing. I'm using Simon's Sentiment Label wafer dies. I have talked about this many times. I have 2 sets of them. because I use them so much that I bought a second set so I could literally do just things like this. So for me, it was worth it because, yeah, things that I use all the time. And then I can fit both at the same time through a die cut machine. So I'm going to tape everything in place just to make sure nothing shifts. And then we're going to die cut it. So, there we go. There we go. There we go. And then we die cut. So exciting. Is there a link somewhere to the colored envelopes you use? I just get them from Simon Says Stamp. Simon, I use the Simon brand ones. And Simon also carries like the Altenew released envelopes. Whenever it was. It was a few months ago. They came out with a bunch of envelopes. I ordered a bunch. And I really like them. So I like the Simon brand ones and the Altenew ones. They are definitely my favorite because both of those brands have the self-sealing, you know, flap. So you just peel it off and stick. So you don't have to lick it because gross. Because I have other color envelopes I've picked up over the years with things, and it drives me nuts when I'm like doing a bunch of envelopes, you know, doing a bunch of cards and putting things in there, and then it's like I go to flip up the envelope and I'm like, eh. Like, oh, you can use a little sponge. Sometimes I'll use a sponge, or I have a dedicated, where is it? It's not this one, but I have one in a different container. I have a dedicated water brush that I will use to re-moisten envelope flaps. And I mean dedicated because obviously you're remoistening adhesive, so I don't want to wreck, like, this is my oldie but goodie little water brush. So, but you can use like a little sponge too if you don't, because it's such a gross thing to do. But yeah, is what it is. Oh, I'm not gotta die cut these a second time because I die cut them once, but then I want them to be, so you can either just trim with a trimmer. Actually, I'll just trim it with a trimmer. Who are we kidding? I'm live. I don't need to be fancy. It just is what it is. But sometimes like the pressure edge looks nicer, but with this, it's so subtle. I don't even think you're gonna notice it.
Wait,
did you lose any brain cells? Bless you.
Brain cells by just moving my head back.
Probably, yeah. Okay. Oh, paper cutter. There we go. To cut paper, a paper cutter is a useful tool. Follow me for more life-changing advice. Okay, so we got that. I'm just gonna line that up and die cut it. There we go. And then do the same thing with this one. Line her up. I think I said die cut it. Just and trim it. Trim it. It's not die cutting. It's trimming. There's difference. Learn the lingo. Whatever. Anyway. Okay. We're back. So. Oh, I missed that. I was getting caught up in the chat here. True about mood. I've mailed the same card at different times to different people and paid different rates. Oh yeah. I have had that issue. And I've told this story before. It still makes me laugh. The one postal worker, and she did it the last time I was there too, because of course I always get her every time. And it's like I always make sure to inform them because the look of dread on their face when I show up with like a bag of 50, 60 cards to mail. And they'll just be like, but I'm like, it's been pre-weighed, pre-measured. I've put the appropriate postage, you know, and for the most part, most of them know me by now and they don't care. But the one, she'll still like double check that I'm not lying. And I'm like, whatever. But the one year when I was mailing out, I think it was a bunch of Christmas cards. Yeah. To my patrons. So I could say I had like just a massive amount of cards to mail out. And she just looked at me and she's like, do you actually have that many friends?
Yeah.
I'm super popular, okay? It just made me laugh because I'm like, I didn't even, for a sec, I was like, what the heck, man? lots of friends, okay, man? Oh, it was funny. I found it funny. But yeah. It is what it is. Welcome to my life. The arm to my tonic trimmer needs to be tightened. Yes, they do get loose sometimes. So you can just use an Allen wrench right there and you can tighten it. And I have had to do that with this one because I've had this for years. It is beat up, all the things, but I noticed when I was like it would fall, you know. So if the arm is like really loose, tighten it. Like the tonic ones are nice because these are not sharp. Like this is not your typical deadly guillotine blade. You know, you can't like rip this off and go start fighting zombies with it. That's not how this works. Like it is not sharp. These cut by the metal scraping against the metal. So it's not like the old school guillotine trimmers, you know, that it was a literal like knife blade on that thing. Which I still think back to like elementary school and teachers let me use that thing.
Yeah.
Like I always loved it when the teacher would leave me to my own devices in the resource room. And I had that great big guillotine cutter and there was a wall of like color paper, you know, all the construction paper, everything. And oh, those were the best times. I would just stay in there for hours if they let me. And I would just be like cutting paper and getting all my little supplies together. And yeah, playing with a weapon. It's fun. But never cut anything off. I respect it. But yes, anyway, that's what I was saying. So this isn't super sharp in that sense, but obviously if you were to like run your finger against it like as a paper cut, you would cut yourself. But yeah, it's not sharp. So that's another reason why I like these trimmers a lot, so I don't have to worry about, oops, cut a finger off. Not gonna happen. So still be wary. Just all the things. Okay. Inside of the card. Okay. And then, yes, and don't tighten it too much. You'll know, obviously, like with this, you keep it closed as you tighten it. You know, it can't really go any further. Like don't have it like open, you know, past the metal, because then yes, you could tighten it, but then you would know because the blade wouldn't come down. So if you've tightened it and the blade's not coming down, you've tightened it too much. So yeah, pretty basic. Okay. So I was surprised to see you cut into the magnet on your EMPRESS machine. Oh yeah. I refused to do it for the longest time because for me, again, in Canada, the cutting plates are easier for me to replace. The magnets are not, but I finally gave in and started cutting into the magnet. It is easier and yeah, is what it is. Like Anna Griffin herself does it. It's not recommended by the machine, manufacturing, yada yada. But considering the woman whose name is on the machine cuts into the magnet. Yeah. I tell you guys the rules. I tell you guys the manufacturer things because I just feel that that is my prerogative as a maker and a content creator to like, this is how it's meant to be. This is how it's supposed to use. These are the rules. And then if you as your own individual adult human choose to break those rules, fine. Totally fine. With a lot of things, it doesn't matter. Some things, it's important, you know, it's a hazard or, you know, a safety concern, those sorts of things. But like, you want to cut in the magnet, cut in the magnet. Okay. I was holding off getting a guillotine trimmer for just that reason. I don't want to cut my finger off with it falling shut. Yeah, these ones, and both sizes. These ones are fine, literally. Let me move this. Let's talk. Let's talk trimmers. I still always follow basic safety. That's like, it's got the stopper, you know, and I use this all the time. You know, whatever you're cutting. Let's pretend I was going to cut. No, I don't want to put that in there because knowing my luck, I would actually cut it. Whatever you're cutting, you know, wherever it is, You're pressing here, you're nowhere near the cut, you're good to go, you know? But even if you were to get a finger, if you were really just not paying attention and you came down, it would hurt. Like, I'm literally coming down on my finger right now. It doesn't hurt. I'm not like, it would hurt, especially if you were really like, but you're not going to cut a finger off. Like, you would have to, you know, you would have to be using a pretty insane level of force. And even then, you'd probably need to be on a joint. It's just not sharp enough for that. Like, these edges are not sharp. However, you still use basic safety because it would hurt if you like pinched. Then you could maybe do a little bit of cut. But yeah, this trimmer, I have been using this one, and I've been using the big one. Before this one was released, I've been using this version, the big one, which is the exact same thing, just is big. That's why I don't show it in videos very often, because this thing takes up like so much space. But it's the exact same thing. It's got the same style of blade. It's not super sharp. This one's got a bit more space between, because it can technically cut a couple more sheets of paper. But I have been using this version by Tonic for almost since I started carving, so like 20 years. Love them. Great trimmers. And because they're not sharp, they don't need to be sharpened. I have never had a problem. They don't go dull. This dude has done so many thousand cuts, I couldn't even tell you. He works fine. I have dropped him a million times. I've had to tighten it a few times. It is just whatever. It works great. Love it. Love it. Okay. I know. And yeah. Seeing my fingers and me being an idiot. Okay, I'm doing me and I own up. Please don't do the dumb things I show you guys, but I'm just trying to give the example. But yeah, don't try testing it yourself and being like, let's see what happens. Yeah. You know? Anyway. So yeah. And yes, it's true. If you don't hold down the guard when you're cutting, because it's not just about protecting your fingers. If you're not holding this down, because you need to hold the cardstock down, you know, when it's in there. Because if you're not holding it, it's going to go, choop, like no matter what. So holding it down gives it that pressure right up, almost right up to the edge. So then you're going to get a straight cut, you know, because you want your cuts to be straight, obviously. So this not only protects your fingers, but it also holds down the cardstock. With this one, it pops out, which is nice because sometimes if I've got gunk or this isn't dry, splatter, different things, it can get gunky. And you'll know because you'll get marks on your cardstock and it's like, where the heck did that come from? And it's like, oh, so I'll take this off and I'll clean this with just a bit of like hand sanitizer. Get off whatever schmutz. And then, yeah, it just pops right back. Mine is, I think, broken. Yeah, I think I broke off the one little nib, but it still works. I don't care. So, yeah. Works a charm. It's a great trimmer. Loves it. Okay. And yeah, the big one is awesome. Okay. There we go. So much easier. And I think I got everything. Okay. So, card base, top folding, A2, white note card, same old, same old. Not reinventing the wheel here. So we're gonna do that. And then we'll use the stamp. So I'll use the big U word. And we'll stamp that on the inside of my card. Just like that. Make sure he's straight. Yep. And then, oh, my chat's gone a little weird. There we go. Straight unless you're cutting recollection. But yes, not all cardstock is straight. So yeah, if you find you are consistently, and you'll notice it really, if you are cutting, like, say, cardstock in half. Because, like, this is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And if you find that every time, like, you cut a whole bunch of pieces for card bases, and then you score them and you fold them, and it's always crooked, you know, check the cardstock. Because 99% of the time, it's not you cutting it crooked. The cardstock itself isn't actually straight. because they make it in great big sheets, and then they use great big industrial cutters. Like, you think the guillotine trimmer is scary? The industrial ones, it's like a massive razor blade that slices down, and depending on the brand and where it was manufactured, some of them they just don't care, and it's not kept, you know, straight and lined up properly, and it'll cut like on almost on an angle because again, weight of cardstock. It happens in textiles too, you know, because things shift because you're putting massive amounts of pressure on it. So, and yeah, Recollections cardstock is one of the worst. I quit using it because every time I'd make a card base and it was like crooked. Every time I was done. So done with that stuff. Plus, can't stand the smell of it. It just, I don't know where they like what they do with their stuff, but their cardstock, their glitter papers, etc., their pattern papers have a very unique scent to them that I can tell the minute the package is opened. I was like, that's Recollections, isn't it? Because I can smell it, and it just gross. So that even more so than the crookedness of it, it's the smell. I don't like it, and it lingers for a really long time. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. So I inked it up with purple ink. That was just Orchid. That's what I forgot to link to earlier. There we go. Oh, and yeah, Lala, I answered that. I didn't even see your comment till now. But that's why. That's why it is. It's just, yeah. It's really annoying. So let me put, I just gotta put my little stamps back on the packaging so that I don't lose them, because these are small. And if I don't put them away, I will lose them. So got that. There we go. And then, okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna add, I'll wait on how I want to add to the front or to the inside of the card till I get the front, because I'm not sure, and we'll see what. I'll just add the little sentiment. So we'll glue that into place. So it just says, "You are amazing." There we go. So get that on there. And then, well, I'm glad some of y'all are now learning that you're not crazy. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. It was the cardstock. So yeah, loads of fun. Because trust me, I thought the same thing. I was like, how can I not cut a straight line? I have been doing this for a long time. And then I pulled out all of it and I started like really checking the cardstock, and all of it was off. And I was just like, because you think you're going nuts. So anyway, it's all good. So we got the sentiments on the inside. We got this. We're gonna add some baker's twine because, you know, that's just what I gotta do. So we're gonna stick it how do I want my bow to be? Because we're gonna do this. Sending a hug to you. Like, got a little flower. We'll put one right there. Maybe one. Oh yeah, we'll put the bow like right there. That's where it's gonna be. So baker's twine. Doop. We will start there. Just kind of hold it in place where I want my bow to be. Wrap this around. Card panel a couple of times. Like that. Cut that off. Reverse tweezers. Smells bug me too. I keep having my Simon powder tool clogs. I just picked up an EK Tools powder tool. Yeah, some anti-static powders stink, because some brands or some people will use, you know, like baby powder. I can't stand the smell of that stuff. Nope. The Simon tool though, you just gotta unscrew it, and because I showed that in the live. Someone asked me about that. And this applies to any powder tool. I can show it. You just gotta be careful because it makes a mess. But with the sign, well, first off, I always keep mine upside down because powder collects a little bit in the lid, and then eventually I'll dump it on my project, you know, and move it around. But I'm just gonna gently tap this with the Simon anti-static powder tool. All you do is unscrew it, and this is why I say be careful. There's a lot of powder. But yeah, you can just take like a pokey tool, a pin, a pokey tool, because there should be a hole right there. There's just that one little hole. If your climate is much more humid, I could see it definitely building up. I've never had an issue, but it's not like humid here at all. So you would just like, you know, and just clean her out, and you're good. That's all you need to do, and he should be good to go. And then if you're refilling it, this little piece right here, I'm not going to lift this out, but it comes out very easily. You lift it out because the little refill packs, it's like those little like powdered drink packs. That's how it comes. I think I have one right. Oh, I do have one. Ha! Yeah, it comes like this. It's a little pack like this. So you just tear it off and you can refill it from this. And this is like $1 or $2 or something. It's dirt cheap. And yeah, this is not baby powder. This is not cornstarch. Do not use cornstarch. Cornstarch is a thickener. Cornstarch absorbs. What you want is anti-static. So people that are using cornstarch, a lot of times, like, it's going to find the moisture and it's going to go. So, and then baby powder is just gross. I don't like baby powder. But this is very fine kaolin clay powder. That's what this is. So it's very, very fine. It doesn't really, doesn't have a smell. It's cosmetic grade, like kaolin powder. So yeah, that's how you do it. And I'm just trying to be careful so that I don't end up with Scarface. I was gonna a Scarface incident. Isn't that the movie?
Yeah.
Where he's got the big pile of it on the desk. Is it Scarface? Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. Don't want one of those incidents. And also, yeah, don't snort the powder, man. Not good for you. Those kinds of substances, also not good for you. But don't snort the anti-static powder. There, follow me for more life advice. Whatever. Okay, back to the Baker's Twine. I'm all over the place today. Okay. So we got that. I missed. There was something else I missed. Here we go. What date of the month does the new Simon kit become available? The 14th. They'll post sneak peeks. Gosh, today is what, the 11th? So in a couple days, usually the day before, they start posting sneak peeks on their Facebook page. And then it gets released at midnight Eastern of the 14th. Like, so that's when people will get to see it. I don't have it yet. Some months I'm like super lucky and it'll get to me ahead of time. I'm lucky though if I get it like the day it releases. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't have it yet, so I have no clue what's in the next monthly kit. So, Baker's Twine. Started my knot. Pinched it with my reverse tweezers so that it can hold it, so that I can make a loop. Let me see. I'll try and zoom in to show this one too. Go boop, boop, boop. Okay. So I got my knot. You make a bunny ear. I go like this and around. And then I pull it through. This is how I make all of my bows, which is really hard to do when I'm trying to talk at the same time. So this way my bows are always like at the top, because then I pull it through. I don't pull anything tight because obviously right now this looks stupid. And you especially don't pull it tight when you're dealing with Baker's Twine, because Baker's Twine is several threads twisted. So once you start pulling things tight, it's going to keep twisting and then your bow's going to go like, you know. So I keep everything loose and I fiddle with it until I'm kind of satisfied. And sometimes it's just like, nope. And then I just undo it and redo it because it's just paper. It's just thread. It's not a big deal. So kind of fiddle with it. Sometimes I get it on the first go. There, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I pulled it tight, remove the tweezers, pull it tight again. It's still a little wonky, so I press it with my thumb. And I go like that. That way I'm not, you know, pulling the whole thing loose. Give it a little tappy tap. Tell it did a good job. We're good. Got a bow. Now I can zoom out like that. Okay. So we got our baker's twine. Gonna cut that off. Oh, that's awesome, Kathy. Yeah. With that trimmer, it works. Yeah, I was right. It was Scarface. And the funny thing is I haven't seen that movie. I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about The Godfather? Add those to the list.
I think they are. They've been on my list for years. I've never seen them. I know enough to reference them. So it's like, especially back when I was still in like the dating scene, I was like, oh yeah, braided matches, and dudes were always like, yeah, thinking I knew things, you know. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
At least they showed you The Big Lebowski.
See, and I hadn't seen The Big Lebowski either, but I knew like I could reference it, everything. But yeah, we watched that like last year. It wasn't that long ago.
It was a couple years ago now.
I think it was a while ago, but yeah, hadn't seen that one either. I grew up very sheltered anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of like old movies that are just like classics, whatever, that I actually have never seen. But yeah, Scarface and The Godfather being among that. But someday.
Hey, I showed you the Aliens movies.
And Aliens, we talked about that. Yeah, I had never seen those either, and then we watched them, and I just cackled. Men are dumb. According to those movies, and well, just, you know, in general. That is one thing I do like about James Cameron, when you can really tell when he's the director, because he really just plays into that.
Yeah.
Him and Bill Paxton, he was a good actor.
He was.
Okay, anyway, back to the card at hand. I'm getting distracted again. What did I miss? I missed something. Oh, okay. I'm learning I love it, Donna. That's hilarious. Yeah, Tim Holtz. Yes, Tim does say don't lick your art, and I've totally like hijacked that phrase because it's true. Don't lick your art, and yeah, don't snort your anti-static powder. You all are learning. Us makers are just great life coaches. Okay. Good Lord. Anyway. Okay. We got our little baker's twine. Is this where I want to keep everything? Yes, that's where I want to keep everything. Let's glue this to the card base before I add all the other elements. So we'll just put glue on here, just like so. Scroll some through here. It looks like I'm applying a lot of glue, but I'm actually not, because you don't really need much when it comes to liquid glue and paper. Like, kind of the whole concept of a dabble, do ya? So we'll line that up with my card base. There we go. And then hold everything down to make sure it all comes in contact with the card. There we go. Card making is so educational. I know, right? So much. Okay. He's good. He's secure. Okay. So then for this guy, I'm going to pop him up with just a smidge, like thin foam squares, because I want to be able to tuck the other little things under there. So I'm just going to use, and I don't do this very often, but a sentiment like this I've talked about is perfect because it's nice and wide. So I'm not, because I will not, if like I will do everything to avoid having to trim down like slivers of foam tape. I love when other makers do it because it's like, how did you get the sentiment to look like that? Like they'll, you know, it'll look like it's literally like floating on the card. And then the ones that do like videos or explain it or whatever, and then it's like, yeah, they cut like just hairline slivers, you know, of foam tape, and I'm like so impressed by their patience because I don't have any ever. So ones like this are nice because I just stick everything into place and we're good to go. Just like that. That should work. Yep. So we did that. And then there we go. Get these guys out of the way. And then make sure everything is lined up like that. I want to make sure my bow is where it needs to be. So got our die cut sentiment. And then I've already put a foam square where I don't want it, but we can just kind of, we peel him up a bit, do that, and then my little die cut leaves. And of course it doesn't want to there. Get. There we go. Do I want to stick it? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Cut off some of that so it's not peeking out. Yeah, I like that. That'll work for me. So I'll add a bit of glue. Lift that up. Stick that down. And then, since this is already stuck to that little foam square, I'm just going to stick a blob of glue in there. And then press that down. There we go. It's got a little flower. There was YouTube unsubscribed me from the channel. What do you ever look? Oh, yeah. That happens. It's literally what I mean when I talk about like the robots and the algorithms and all the things. I'm going to use my tweezers as well. It can just hold that. There. Well, they come in handy. Yeah, that happens too. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how things will just disappear, you know, channels you subscribe to, etc., etc. It happens. It's so stupid and annoying. Just is what it is. Yep. We're going to tuck those guys in there. It's the same thing. We're going to add some glue. Like that. And then, just like that first. And then, does anyone know why the glue press seems to be out of stock everywhere? It takes a while to restock stuff like this. I haven't heard any ETAs or anything. I'm not surprised that it's out of stock. It's been popular. But Misty is a small company, and restocking items can sometimes be it take a while, like, and be because it's expensive. It's insanely expensive. Because usually there's a hefty like order minimums and stuff. You need to have enough to fill like pallet worth, and like some of those minimums can be pretty insane, and especially for a small company to take on. So yeah, and then on top it takes a while. So yeah, I forget they've restocked it a few times already since it was released because it's been what almost like it's been over a year. I think it's been not quite. It's August now. I forget when this thing was released. I think it was only released this year. I don't remember. I ordered it when it first came out, used it for a couple months behind the scenes before I even filmed my review, and I think I posted my review of it in like February or March. I don't remember. I don't even remember what yesterday was. Like, psh. But yeah, they've restarted a couple times since, and yeah. Okay, we got that one. So we got those. And I'm gonna do that. Do I want to tuck? Oh, yes, I do. How cute are these little leaves? How cute. Yep. Okay. Okay. It's a great little tool. I like it. I was definitely a little bit skeptic when I first saw it, but I personally, like, I have hand and wrist issues, and for me, I was starting to really notice because I do this as a job, so I'm gluing all day every day, and there were some days, and the intern can attest to that, where it's like I would come upstairs and I was just like my hands would hurt, like hurt, because just from like squeezing bottles, everything, it hurt. So this for me, game changer. It doesn't work for everyone. I know some people found that it aggravated if you have issues like right in there. They found, but for me, it's like because I hold it and I'm only squeezing like right here. You know, I'm not using any pressure anywhere else, just here, and I have not had hand issues, so I love it. I don't like the color. I talked about that in my review. Not a fan of the color. I've still been too lazy to spray paint it though. I don't really care that much. So, yeah. Hopefully it'll get restocked soon. There we go. So we'll tuck the little leaves right in there. Love it. Love it. Just like that. You want to look up my video?
Which video am I looking for?
It'll be the review of, if you just go on my channel and search glue press, I'd probably be able to find it faster than you. But you should be able to find it, because then you can just link it, because I talked about it in that video and explained all the things for anyone who has no idea what the heck I'm talking about. So that, love it. And then, yep, that one. If you want to link that, he'll post it in the chat. The review I posted back when does it say when I posted that?
5 months ago.
Yeah, March, something like that.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was 5 months ago already, man. Anyway, yeah, I did a whole dedicated review on it, explained all the ins and outs, what I liked, didn't like, whatever, and yeah, I'm putting little foam squares on the back of this guy. Doop, doop, just like so. Okay. And then boop, and boop, and boop. So, we're gonna get that guy lined up. There we go. And then, now that I've got all that assembled on the outside, on the inside of the card, I can put like that. Do I want to add a couple of these little leaves? Probably don't need to. Doesn't really need them. I'm going to set those aside, but I'm going to add this little guy to the inside. And then same thing, stick a magnet on him just to hold him down for a second. Okay. Yep. So far, so good. Oh, bling. I know I wanted bling. Where did it go? It's not my bling. Yes. Bling. And that. Okay. Got that. And then trim off the little bit that's hanging off the side. So there's the inside. And then to finish off the outside, we'll add a little bit of bling. And while I'm doing that, the intern can pick a winner for me to mail the card to. So we'll add some little bling. There we go. Let me pick out little bits, little gold confettis. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll tuck one in over there. Yeah, that works. Okay. So got that. And then just gotta adhere them into place. A little dab of glue. Just like so. Tuck it in there. And get there. And that is the finished card. So we've got the embossing, very subtle. And our little watercolor florals, our little leaves, and the blingy sentiment. Because, you know, you just gotta. It's the rules. And then the inside with its little sentiment. So got that. Let me put that back in there so I don't lose or knock it over or whatever. And then if I do this, and can I do this? Oh, it's working. Okay. Who's the
winner?
Yeah.
It's a Maria F. from Miami, Florida.
Okay, Maria in Miami.
Yep.
Hopefully, I plan to mail it this week. As always, I make no promises. I'm not kidding. I have so many deadlines this week. It's going to be nuts. I have Halloween stuff coming. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, a lot going on, but I will hopefully get it in the mail this week. That's the plan. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's just going to depend on all of the chaos. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm just like reading appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me. Especially like, yeah, my brain still isn't fully here. I am too many things. So yeah, gremlins are probably gnawing on my brain cells too. That's probably another reason. But I appreciate it as always. You will mail in 3 weeks time. Yeah, that's a good guesstimate. Because some of the live card winners, it has. Ooh, stay where you belong, Mike. It has been sometimes like 3 weeks, a month later, but they do go out. It just takes me a while sometimes to get to it. Cause yeah, I got anxiety issues, okay? You know, I don't have that many friends. And the fact that the post office worker just had to point that out. Oh man. Anyway, it just made me laugh. But yeah, and stay tuned. I have a lot of videos coming this week, as per usual, because there are many things coming out. I have piles of new products, lots of fun Halloween stuff, thanks to the disembodied the disembodied hand for helping out with the moderating in the chat. And yeah, I think I answered all of the things. I hope so. This time both camera works. Who'd have thunk? I honestly wasn't sure I was even going to be able to go live today when I saw the outage issues going on this morning. But yeah, everything worked. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Trying not to jinx it, because I seem to have, it's like 1 or 2 good live streams, and then the next one it's like everything breaks, and you know, just stupid things. It is my life. That lady at the post office is not on the Christmas card list. Truth. It is true, but oh well. It still makes me laugh every time it pops in my head. It makes me laugh. I'm just like, it's funny. It's so unexpected. Like, how did she know? That is my life. Okay, let me put, that is a, why did I have that? That is not a good one. Okay, I gotta clean up my mess. I have to clean up my mess. As always, I'll post the photos and all the things, the blog post, the socials, yada yada. Is there any other housekeeping I need to do? I don't think so. Other than just stay tuned, you know. Yeah, you know, everything I used, always, like I said in the beginning, listed and linked in the description box below the video. I'll edit that because there's a couple little items that I used that aren't currently there, but as soon as I'm done the live, I just have to hit refresh and it'll all be on there again. So that'll be fine. And yeah, I have another video coming tomorrow morning. Yeah, I got one coming tomorrow morning for sure. I have another one coming the next day. I have other ones on the docket. Like I said, I got a lot. There's so many things. So many good things. So many ideas, so little time, but I'll keep pumping out the content like I always do. Stamptember's coming. Are we ready? I'm not ready. I hope everyone else is ready. They saved up their monies and are ready to go. We'll see. We will see what happens with all of it. No idea. It's going to be loads of fun. I hope all you have a great rest of the day or night, depending on where you guys are tuning in from. That still boggles my mind. I got glue on my desk. Let's just get that out of there. And yeah, I appreciate you guys a ton. I'm still blows my mind that you guys like hanging out with me in my literal chaos, as always. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in supporting me over on Patreon, the link to that is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!